Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Vinny's Take. While I'm going to be discussing some things on overreaction, if you're really bored, you can watch Garfield clean himself in the background. That's Garfield. All right, I got some things I want to talk about. Over the last several weeks, we have seen a lot of overreaction, knee-jerk decisions be made in all fields. But in sports in general, certain things have been happening that you just sit back and wonder why. We don't have a lot as far as live sports in America right now. There's some UFC events, I think every other weekend. NASCAR has had several races. The WWE and AEW pro wrestling shows are doing what sports entertainment. But as far as like baseball, basketball, hockey, nothing's going on. In fact, there are actual cases of facilities being completely shut down because of a positive test of COVID-19, like in Philadelphia tonight. But that's not what I'm here to talk about, because there's certain precautions and all that that's different. Let's go back a few weeks and talk about as the protests and stuff began. People started using social media to express their opinions, and it quickly became prevalent that certain opinions weren't going to be tolerated. They just weren't. One of those opinions was Drew Brees, one of the two remaining quarterbacks still in the league, older than myself, so I appreciate seeing him and Tom Brady out there, even if I don't root for either one. Drew Brees came out on the side of standing for the national anthem. He basically said that he wouldn't kneel under any circumstances and that he respected the flag. This is what I've talked about before, and that this was his opinion and his side. However, many in the media, many in football, especially teammates, criticized him for, like Michael Thomas, NBA star LeBron James, criticized him for his opinion when he said he would never agree with anyone disrespecting the flag. This comes back down to the original protest itself, in that people's opinions are being overshadowed by a narrative driven by the media. One side is all that gets reported on positively. Everything else is negative. And this happened to be one of them. I have stated before that the side that wants to protest by kneeling for the national anthem doesn't care that the other side finds it offensive. They then get offended that the other side got offended. And they say that the side that wants to stand doesn't understand their argument. Neither side actually wants to understand the others, and that's what happens most time in an argument. Neither side wants to listen. Neither side wants to be willing to listen. So Drew Brees makes this statement, and he gets all kinds of heat for it. Unlike in 2016, there aren't people rushing to his side, to his defense. It is all negative. So he comes out and he issues an apology, and then he records an apology. President Trump then says that he shouldn't have done that, but that again is his opinion, and it doesn't matter what President Trump says, he's going to get attacked from his opposition anyway. So, but this has lit another firestorm on the NFL, and once again, calls for boycotting the NFL are flying through social media from people who disagree with the protest. I personally see the right to protest. I think it would be better off done at a different step than kneeling for the national anthem. As I have said, by kneeling for the national anthem, you are automatically alienating half of the audience you want to reach. If you then come out and say, okay, this is what we're going to do. We are going to stand for the national anthem, but beforehand, as unity with team, we are all going to kneel. Or after the national anthem, we are all going to kneel. In my opinion, you would positively reach much more people. And the discussion the original argument that Colin Kaepernick stood out for the end to police brutality, especially amongst those of African American descent, would be better reached. But by holding steadfast in your approach that we are going to kneel for the national anthem, regardless of who you offend or who you upset, doesn't further your cause. It only divides. So when Drew Brees comes out and says, I'm going to stand for the national anthem, and I disagree with anybody who doesn't, he gets attacked. That's his opinion, and he has a right to it. He is an American citizen. He is off duty. He's off the clock. He's not being paid by his employer at this moment. He has a right to say what he wants, but it didn't work out that way for him. So he apologized. Personally, I say, let's move on with it. Allow him to stand if he wants to. Allow anybody else that wants to stand to stand. Anybody that wants to kneel. As I said, I personally think Adrian Peterson, when he came out and said he'd kneel, I think that he would be a better choice to lead the protest because he can reach more people positively, especially the way he turned his career around after the child abuse allegations in 14, and then bouncing from team to team to team before finding a home in Washington and rejuvenating his career. The next thing. All right, so that's Drew Brees. It does seem like anybody on the right cannot have a public statement. Oklahoma State head football coach Mike Gundy is photographed wearing a T-shirt for OAN. OAN is a far-right conservative news outlet. I'm not exactly sure what the letters OAN stand for. I don't know how much I've seen of it. I might have seen things that popped up in Facebook feed, but it's not something I have saved. I'm looking through the story. I don't see it. But so he wore this shirt and he gets attacked for it. He gets criticized for their far-right leanings, their alt-right leanings, whatever, which is becoming negative spin on anything conservative, is if you are labeled as far-right or alt-right, you are attacked for your opinion. You can be far left, you can be socialist, democratic socialist, whatever, far left, and it's fine, but the alt-right are attacked, and OAN is apparently being attacked. And Mike Gundy was for this T-shirt. Now, I don't know much about Mike Gundy. I'm not an Oklahoma State fan. I remember around 2007 or 8 him standing up there saying, I'm 40, I'm a man. Well, he backtracks. He comes out and he apologizes. So apparently in his 50s now, he's not so much of a man as he has to take time to apologize for wearing a T-shirt. Doesn't come out and say, look, it's a T-shirt. No, instead he says, I didn't know what some of the stances they had taken. I didn't know that. These are Gundy's quotes, okay? But then when you look at it and you say, okay, I was a dumbass. I put the shirt on not knowing enough about the shirt. Who does that? Who wears a shirt they don't know enough about a shirt? Let's see. What am I wearing? Okay, it's Walls Workwear. All right? It's an orange shirt. It's a work shirt. It's a cheap-ass Walmart T-shirt that I've actually had for over 10 years now. It's in pretty good shape. It's a little big on me now as I've lost some weight, but it's in pretty good shape. Who doesn't know what they're wearing? I think he knew what it was. I think he fully aware what OAN is, and he should stand up and say, what does it matter? It's a T-shirt. But the knee-jerk reaction is to attack, defame, and criticize. So he apologizes. Well, more is coming out about Mike Gundy, and I'm not going to sit here and defend the man or take sides. I'm just saying this knee-jerk reaction to automatically assume that somebody is wrong because the mass hysteria is telling you he's wrong. And when I say mass hysteria, I mean the media, the mainstream media, whether it be sports media, political media, television media. Look, there's two sides to every story. Two sides. And one of those sides does not get the same equal opportunity to tell its side as the side that you're hearing on ESPN or CNN or ABC, CBS, NBC News. They dictate in the news nowadays what you hear. Do your own research. It's the same thing I've been preaching for years. If you followed me all the way back to the Facebook days when I filmed a video of myself standing for the national anthem, I've always said, do your own research and make your own decisions. And that's where I come to my third point that I want to talk about tonight, and that's Major League Baseball. We're not going to have baseball in 2020. I made several videos about it, and I'm extremely disappointed that it is June 19th, and we don't have a plan for Major League Baseball. There's going to be no baseball on July 4th. There's going to be no All-Star break. There's going to be no pennant chase because the two sides cannot agree. And one of those sides are the employers, the owners, the league, the commissioner. Well, I'm not necessarily sure the commissioner is representing the fans when he's representing the owners. And then you have the other side, the players. The players are being represented by their union. But we also have something that nobody wants to talk about, and that is the collective bargaining agreement. The collective bargaining agreement, the CBA, is in force in 2020. It is not up. It is not ended. So why are we negotiating? Put Major League Baseball, come out and say we are starting on this day. You'll get paid from this day on, whatever you make as salary from this day on. Push up the revenue, trying for merchandise, promote, run sales, run deals, pump those jerseys out, pump the video games, pump the videos, the MLB.TV subscription so you can make enough revenue to make up for the loss of fans in the stands. And quite frankly, there's some stadiums that aren't going to lose a lot in fans because they're overcharging in baseball a ridiculous amount for a Tuesday afternoon game anyway, and the stadiums weren't full to begin with. Not even vaunted Yankee Stadium. But they have excuses, it's a Tuesday afternoon game and people are working, but you're also charging a ridiculous amount. But that's another video for another time. The knee-jerk reaction here is to argue. The MLBPA, the Players Association, and the commissioner do not want to meet and just put teams on the field. They want to instead argue. They want to push for their side to be heard. The one main difference in this from the Drew Brees and the Mike Gundy thing is that ESPN is reporting both sides because they want baseball just as much as I do, just as much as you do, just as much as the Cracker Jack vendors and the peanut hawkers and the little kids with the gloves that want to be able to get back out and catch a foul ball. We want baseball. We want basketball. We want hockey. We definitely want football in the fall. But those are my takes anyway. What's yours? As always, subscribe, hit like, tell your friends about this silly masked man in a Buffalo Bills mask who is telling you his opinions. Until next time, I'm Vinny Vincent. God bless America.